Parenting is like having a set of keys. Each key represents a different parenting style, and the door it opens is your child's potential. But if you choose the wrong key, or you never figure out which one fits, you might leave your child locked out of opportunities, self-confidence, or emotional growth. So let's figure out which key is best for unlocking the best version of your child. Years ago, I was a single mother raising two boys. I made mistakes, many of them, but I also learned, researched, and grew into the parent I wanted to be. Along the way, I also helped a client who came to me in tears. She was caught between being too lenient with her teenage son and too controlling with her younger daughter. She felt like a failure. So together we discovered how to adjust her parenting approach, and today her children are thriving, and so are mine. This is the power of understanding your parenting style. Psychologists generally define four main parenting styles: authoritarian, permissive, neglectful, and authoritative. Each style impacts children in unique ways. Let's dive into each one using real-life examples to illustrate their effects. Authoritarian parenting is the strict enforcer. High demands but low warmth. Rules are rigid and questioning authority is definitely discouraged. For example, a child is grounded for getting a B on a test without any discussion, or forcing a child to play a sport because the parent believes it's best for them, despite the child's disinterest. The impact is that this kind of parenting often leads to obedient but anxious children who are prone to low self-esteem and have difficulty making decisions. Dr. J. Nelson says the goal of discipline is not compliance, but to teach. So it's important to bear this in mind when we look at authoritarian parenting. Then there's permissive parenting, the overly lenient friend. Such parents have high warmth but low expectations. Their boundaries are either unclear or non-existent altogether. For example, a parent lets a child skip chores whenever they don't feel like doing them, or allowing a child to eat dessert before dinner regularly because they insist on it. The impact on children is that they may struggle with self-discipline, with taking responsibility, and respecting limits. Dr. Anthony P. Witham says, too much love never spoils children. Children become spoiled when we substitute presence for presence. Bear this in mind when we look at permissive parenting. And then there is neglectful parenting, the absent guide. Such parents have low demands and low warmth. Children are often left to raise themselves emotionally and sometimes even physically. For example, a parent who is constantly on their phone, ignoring the child's requests for help with homework. Pardon me. Another example is a parent who's missing important events like parent-teacher conferences or birthdays or sports events without any explanation. Such children are at higher risk for mental health issues, for poor academic performance, and struggles with relationships all through their lives. Harold Halbert says kids need love, especially when they do not deserve it. Bear that in mind when you look at neglectful parenting. And finally, there is authoritative parenting, and this is the ideal style. It balances high expectations with warmth and support. Rules are clear but flexible, and communication is key. A parent who sets a bedtime for their child but listens to their reasoning for staying up late to finish a school project and adjusts accordingly is an authoritative parent. Encouraging a child to try out for a team even when they feel nervous while offering reassurance and support is another example. The impact this kind of parenting style has on children is that they tend to grow up and become confident, independent, and socially capable adults. W.E.B. Du Bois says, children learn more from what you are than what you teach. Bear this in mind. When parents adopt different parenting styles, it can create confusion or insecurity or even manipulation among children as they navigate inconsistent expectations. So let's explore additional examples of how mismatched styles affect family dynamics and potential solutions that I can suggest. The first example is a scenario where a father prioritizes emotional connection and indulges the child's wishes, which means he's permissive, while the mother insists on a regimented daily schedule and strict rules, which is authoritarian. The result is that the child will gravitate towards the permissive parent for comfort and freedom, but will resent the authoritarian parent, leading to a strained relationship and divided loyalties. The solution is that parents should compromise by integrating flexibility into structured routines while maintaining mutual warmth and support to balance both those perspectives. Let's look at another scenario. One parent actively participates in the child's life, showing interest and setting healthy boundaries, that is authoritative, while the other is distant and disengaged, rarely involved in parenting decisions, that is neglectful. The result is that the child feels conflicted, valuing the support of the engaged parent, but experiencing feelings of rejection or neglect from the other. Now, this can impact the child's self-esteem and their ability to trust relationships. The solution is that the engaged parent can encourage the disengaged parent to reconnect with the child through small, manageable steps, like sharing meals or attending events together. In that way, you can foster a united and emotionally supportive environment. And lastly, let's look at a scenario where a mother permits her teenage son to make his own choices about curfews, trusting him to be responsible, which is permissive, while the father imposes strict curfew times and punishes any deviation, which is authoritarian. The result is that the teenager becomes confused about the boundaries and develops resentment towards the stricter parent, sometimes breaking the rules because of unclear expectations. The solution is that the parents need to establish a mutual curfew policy that respects the child's growing independence while providing a clear and consistent set of boundaries. And that shows a unified approach to decision-making. So you can see by these examples that aligning approaches and integrating the strengths of each style, parents can avoid confusion and create a harmonious environment that fosters emotional and behavioral stability for their children. So you must be wondering which style is the best. Authoritative parenting consistently emerges as the most effective. Why? Because it fosters emotional security, independence, and strong communication skills. But what if you weren't raised this way, or you feel stuck in another style? The good news is parenting styles can be learned and adapted. And this is how you can implement authoritative parenting. Set clear expectations, clearly communicate your rules and the consequences. Encourage dialogue, listen to your child's perspective, and be flexible. Adjust rules when circumstances warrant it, but show empathy. Validate your child's feelings even when you are enforcing the rules, and model the behavior. Show the respect and the discipline that you want to see in your child. For example, my client, who struggled with different approaches for her children, learned to balance expectations with warmth. By setting boundaries and explaining the reasons behind them, she gained her children's respect and their trust. I designed a short online course on boundaries that all parents should do. You'll be surprised at how many types of boundaries we need that you might never have thought about. And you'll learn quickly how to set them in a healthy manner and maintain them with your children firmly. You'll also be able to model boundary setting with others, setting a great example for your children. You'll find the link in the description. Parenting is a journey and no one gets it perfect. But understanding your style and its impact on your child is the first step to unlocking their full potential. If you're struggling to find your key, I invite you to join my community, Get Up and Grow, where we guide parents like you to thrive in all areas of life, including parenting. Let's turn your challenges into growth opportunities for you and your family. And you're most welcome to reach out to me for one-on-one parenting coaching, especially if you're struggling to parent effectively. Remember, the right parenting style isn't about being perfect. It's about finding the right key to unlock your child's potential.